All right, so I1, collecting and analyzing different types of data. It says in this unit, we will be studying data analysis. Data analysis is the process of interpreting. So when we are thinking about that, interpreting, and what I would like for you to put down, interpreting the meaning of the data. Interpreting the meaning of the data. So data is going to be collected, organized, and displayed in the form of a list, displayed table, graph, and or other representations so that we can analyze it. After looking at the data, fitting or finding the pattern or trend, possibly making predictions, we may be able to explain the meaning of the data by writing sentences using the statistics. And there are many kinds of data we're going to analyze. The next 4 slides are going to show you data, some of the data we're going to look at, and data can fit into more than one of these different categories. So please turn, or as you look at that next part of the summary. So that univariate. Univariate, if you think of the word uni, you'd think one. One involving one variable is the first statement. The major purpose of describing one data, one variable, using statistics such as, so if you want to underline, these are the statistics that we are going to be asked to use when we have one piece of data: the mean, the median, the mode, the range. Quartiles, you'll get into that more next year, minimum and maximum, and our standard deviation. Displays, we might use bar graphs, histograms. You've been using in history pie charts lately, dot charts. We're going to make a dot plot, box and whisker. You're going to be asked to find what's the average height like from our data, something like that. As you look at bivariate means we are going to have 2 variables. So 1 variable versus 2 variables. It could be numerical data or categorical. Categorical is like when you talk to people about how many pets they have or what kind of a pet they have or what color is your hair, right? That is a category versus numerical about the size of your foot or how tall you are. The major purpose is to identify causes or relationships. We're going to look for correlations. We're going to find statistics such as the slope and y-intercept. We're going to display our scatter plots, 2-way frequency tables. And a sample question that we might analyze in bivariate data is, does the length of time you study affect your grades on the test? Numerical data. So numerical involves 1 or 2 variables and can be measured using numbers. Height, arm span, the number of books you own. Categorical data involves 1 or 2 variables that can be sorted into group by categories. Eye color, type of car, favorite sport, etc. Okay? So, what we are going to be taking a look at, we are going to make a univariate, meaning 1 variable, looking at our type of data. We are going to make a dot plot looking at your shoe size. So, what I am going to do is I am just going to ask each of you as we go around the room, what was your shoe size? Okay? So, we are making the dot plot with that one. So 13 was 2, and we had 6.5 at 3, and we had 11 with 4, and 11.5. So what's going to happen in your homework is I might give you a list of numbers like this, and I'll ask you to make a dot plot. Okay? So this is our dot plot, and as we look at this, now we want to kind of analyze this data. We want to talk about it. So it says, well, what's the meaning of this information that we collected, and how can we display it as we look at this display? So first off, can you tell in this class what is our most common shoe size?
11 and 8.
So they both had 4, right? So that's called, if we are talking about that, does anyone know what that is, the most common? That's called our mode. Do you remember mode? It's the one that occurs the most often. So for our class, please put down the mode was both 8 and 11. We had 2 modes. What is our range for this class? Meaning the largest minus the smallest. Our largest was 15 and down to 6.5, right? So 15 minus 6.5. We have a range of 8.5 in this class. And each class is probably going to be different today as we look at this, right? Could we find our middle, our median? So when we come back, we'll look at that one. People did we have total that we were looking at? Count your number of dots. So you're going to count your number of dots, right? Please count your dots. Do that now. And we're going to divide, so halfway, we need to count halfway again. So, we had how many total dots today?
22.
So 22, which means at 11, gentlemen, don't talk anymore. So we have right now between 9, it looks like that's 11 up to here, right? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So if we were asked for the median, it's right between 9 and 10. So we can put 9.5 because you'd add 9 plus 10 and divide by 2. And we just put the median is at 9.5. Okay, so that means our middle value, if we were looking at this, if you were going to find the mean is the same as the average. When you find the mean is when you take and add all the numbers and then divide it, in this case, by 22. We're not going to do that for our class, but you could find the mean of our R's. So it says, why is this considered univariate? Because we only had one variable, right? And it says, what does the graph tell us about the shoe sizes in our family, or in this class? It tells us that we have, the most people have size 8 or 11, that there's a range of 8.5, the median was 9.5. So all of this is information that it tells us, okay? On the next page, we are going to be looking at bivariate data. So, 2 variables, in other words, we're going to look at 2 types of data. So this time, we are going to look at your height in inches and your shoe size, and we are going to graph this. So, as you are looking at it, notice that they tell you that the ordered pair is going to be shoe size, that means that's your X, and height is Y. So let's write height, and it's height in inches. And this is going to be our shoe size. And we want to look at the data that we've collected and organized in this way. So as we collect this, we're going to do it as an ordered pair. Okay? So I'm going to ask you, it's always first going to be your shoe size. So we're going to start with your shoe size, and then it's going to be your height. Okay? So we're going to do your shoe size, and then your height. So it's going to be an ordered pair, and we're going to plot each one as we write it down. Okay? So, as we are taking a look, 64, right? So you go to 11 and up to 64, right? We're going to go to 6.5, 64, 6.5, and 64, right? So if we are looking at those, right? So plotting those. But what you kind of had is something where you have each one of ours. So at that 10.5 when you were plotting it, you had up at 63. So a lot of them were kind of something along, you know, we had points that were just looking at plotting these data points, right? Now, again, our shoe sizes, we really don't have anyone, if we were looking at that we had below like the 5 foot, right? So all of our data is going to be up here. So sometimes what we're going to do is when you are graphing something like that, we might not, we might change our scale and we might make a broken graph. So it says if we analyze this data, what is the meaning of the data that we collected, organized, and displayed? So if we are taking a look at this, the meaning might be that as your shoe size increases, what happens? So as the shoe size increases, a lot of times we have taller people, right? Bigger shoes, taller people. That isn't always the case, though. Right? Because there's some people that might have smaller feet and are really tall, or they might have big feet and they're not as tall. So we might have some outliers. So why is it bivariate? Because you had two variables. Are our variables numeric here? Were both of them numeric? Yeah, they were both numeric when we looked at that. So it says for these first two problems, all of our data was numerical. What kinds of other data are possible? So we gave some before when we looked at that categorical, but what I would like you to do now is we are going to, on the top of that next page, look at categorical data. So for our class, I want you to answer this question. Were you born in North Dakota? Yes or no? I want you to check the yes or the no that pertains to you, okay? And it says, how could we display this data? Could we find the mean? Can we use any type of graph, every type of graph for this kind of data? So if we are looking, for myself, it was definitely a no, but we're going to go around and ask each of you. So you and 5 of us were not born. So if we were going to look at this data, could we make a bar graph with this?
Yeah. Maybe.
So if we were going to analyze this, could we find the average, the mean?
Yes.
You don't have numbers, right? Mean is for finding numbers. So if we were going to graph this, we could make a bar graph, right? What other type of graph? Could you make a circle graph?
Yes.
Yes, because you could, a pie chart, circle, right? We could make a bar, we could make a circle graph. We probably couldn't plot it like we did our last two. So it says, now we're going to look at this next piece of data. Were you born in North Dakota? That's going to be your yes or no. And then I want you to tell me what part of the year you were born. So for myself, if I was born in the month of September. I was not born in North Dakota. So my check mark would be here, okay? I just want you to be able to tell me as I go around the room, where are you in this table, right? These are called the, when you do these, this is called the frequency, and we want to change them to a number now. So we would say that there was 4, 0, and the total of 4 people in our class born in January to March. April to June, this was 4. We had 1 that was not born in North Dakota for a total of 5. Here we had 9, 2, 11. And we had 3, 2,
5.
and 5. So if I wanted to do the total, put the word total back this way, please. Right behind October to December, put the word total. And what should our total be at the very bottom?
22.
20.
It adds to 25.
That's the 25.
Called 42.
So 11 plus 10 is 22, 25. So if we are going to cross here, we have 4, 4, 9, and 3. So 8 plus 12 gives us 20. 5.
Up with your original math.
25. So when we were doing our classes earlier, it was not 22, it was 24. Correct. Right? So how would we analyze this data? Can we use a graph for this kind of data? Do you think there's a good graph that we could make?
Yes.
Maybe,
Yes.
but you got to compare both things.
Yes.
So sometimes something like this could maybe do a Venn diagram later that we might look at. Is that another one? So, yep, that is one of the circles. What I want you to look at right now is you need to put down. You're going to read each one, and I want you to put behind each one, gentlemen, listen. You're going to put an N if the data is numerical. C means it's numbers, right? Numerical. C is when it's not numerical, called categorical. Univariate, you're going to put a U, or bivariate is 2. So these are you're either going to have N or C first, and then after you put that, you will put either a U or a B for each of these. Or you can write out the word. So I read the first one. How many pets do you have? if I'm looking at how many pets you have, that is numerical, right? And it is only one variable, so I'm going to put N and U. Does that make sense? It is numerical and it is univariate. So there's only one variable that you're asking me. How many pets? There's only one variable. So the next one says, your shirt size affects your hair color. Oh, that is, shirt size is numerical. Hair color would be categorical, right? And this would be bivariate. Does that make sense?
No.
Okay, your shirt size is a number, right? Maybe? Or is it a category?
It's a
It
category.
can, so it might be large. So maybe we just have category, C for category, and B for bivariate. Okay? The next one. How many hours a week do you spend watching TV? How many hours a week do you spend? That is numerical, right? Because you're talking about the number of hours. It doesn't say what TV channel. And then this would be univariate. So behind each one, for the rest of them, what I would like you to do, so if I'm looking at your favorite sport, I would like you to tell me right now what you think, and then we're going to move this to the side and take a look. Okay? Bivariate. Favorite, how many text messages each month do you send? That would be numeric, right? And it should be univariate, right? One variable. Favorite snack food? Category, one variable, U. Favorite sport affects your favorite colors. Sport and color are categories. It's not a number, and it would be bivariate. How much does your backpack weigh? That is going to be a number, and it is univariate. Does your annual salary affect the value of your house? Both of those, the value of your house and salary, are numeric, and it is bivariate. What kind of music do you like best is a category, and it is univariate. Okay? So when you are looking at that, that's what you're asked to do in that part. So, on the inside cover of your workbook, I need you today to tell me, you need to write 2 yes/no questions in the front cover of your workbook that you would like to survey people on, and their answer has to be a yes/no. And my example to you is this. This is your first page of homework. You only have this page. It is not due tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow is your test, and tomorrow you want to have your everything H18 done. You might want to take a look at these Quizlets to practice. You might want to make sure H18 you're totally done with that. But in this one, these were the 2 questions they asked. It tells you in your homework that they surveyed 25 adults and asked them whether at least one child and whether they had at least one pet. So it was a yes/no question, right? Do you have at least one child under 18? So if they came to my house and asked me this, I have one child under 18, and then I would have also answered, do you have at least one pet? I would have been yes and yes for myself. I have one child still living with us that is under 18. Okay? I have one pet, right? So, yes, yes. So what you're asked to do, this has to total to 25. What you might want to do is you're going to try and fill in how many of these. These 2 numbers here have to add to 25, so do these. And you are asked to summarize this. So after you fill in your chart, like we just did, and you might do the tallies first, doing those little tallies, then you're going to put the number that are in each of those categories. Says Jacob thinks that there is a relationship between whether an adult has at least one child and if they have a pet. What do you think? According to your data, do adults who have children also tend to have a pet? Okay? You are going to write an RDF paragraph because you know how to write those.
I don't know how to
And
write
explain if you agree or disagree. So, for your